and welcome to Tenalytics podcast. My name is Arafat Oseni and I'm the community manager at Tenalytics. Today, we're going to dive into a very special topic, and it's a topic that is very interesting, and we have a special guest with us. The topic is Overcoming Imposter Syndrome in the tech industry. And joining us today, all the way from United Kingdom, is Bimbo, who is a Agile practitioner and someone that I have like 7 years experience in the industry. And she's going to take us through some critical aspects of this topic. And we're going to talk about it with several examples. So yeah, stay tuned as I welcome Bimbo to the stage. Hello, Abimbola.
Hello.
How are
Hi,
you?
Arafat.
Welcome. Nice to see you once again.
Yeah, it's so good to see you again.
Yeah. How are you and how is the day going?
Fine. A lot of work, but yeah, it goes like that. So there's nothing we can do about it.
Nice. So yeah, let's a little bit of like to make everything not so hectic before we go into like the question would be to ask you to share your like tech experience, your tech journey, and how is it something you stumbled upon as Agile practitioner? Let me go into it, or how did you come about being in the tech industry?
Okay, so for me, it was not like a very smooth path, I would say. It was a journey of rediscovering yourself and also rediscovering the innate character or innate capabilities, that you have. I feel like that's the journey for me. And I started out basically as a business development manager. And what that means is I was always all about product, like sharing the value that a product would give and also selling the product out. But then I graduated with agronomy, which is agriculture. My passion has always been that I want to become a tech person, even though if it's electrical engineer or computer science or computer technology. Yeah. But the way Nigeria is now, they will just dump a course on your lap to just flow with. So I graduated as an agronomist with 4.28 as a GP. And I was really, really smart. I wanted to do tech, but I couldn't. And then at the point when I finished, I'm like, I needed to go into a career that will make me have time for family, my children. That was why I went into sales as a career. And then one thing about me being into sales as a career was, even though I was in sales as a career, was more or less like technical selling. So for instance, I'm that kind of person that you would say make 100 calls, but I will look for technical ways to not make that 100 calls, but I will still have to achieve my results, if that makes sense. So from there, I'm like, then one thing I also want to point out is right from that time, because I was into sales, I had passion, I had drive to deliver. I had like teams I had to work with. But one thing that stood out for me was I was a bad leader. I was a very bad leader. I'm bad leader in the sense that I don't care what it would take my team members to deliver. You just have to deliver. I don't care how you feel. I don't care whatever you're going through at that time. You just must deliver, because that was the career path I chose. And the kind of leaders I also had, it was the same way as well. They do not care how you get your numbers. I'm like, life is not just going to go like this. It can't continue like this. And then I'm like, okay, what else can I do to have that, to have like a sense of responsibility for people? Because I know people are important. I wasn't building relationship. I looked at my life. I feel like if I work with A today, I don't have a relationship with that person anymore. It's just gone. And it wasn't a better life to live with, to live as. So eventually, I'm like, what other career can I do that will make me have time for people, that will make me have time for myself and also for my family? And based on what I've been doing before, I already have like project management sense. I already have like, I know that my weakness was working with people. Even though I want to get results, I'm very result oriented. But working with people was a challenge. So what can I do? How can I get results without having to trample on people's emotion? Without having to like just address people anyhow because I want to get my results. And then Scrum came into being. Not particularly Scrum, but it was actually Agile.
Yeah.
Right. So it was Agile that came into being because it was this phrase that says people over processes. I'm like, can I get results by placing people first over my process? That was like a point at me. I'm like, okay, let me try this out. And then I started reading on Agile. Then coupled with the fact that someone had already told me about it before, But when I went into it, was the Agile that really struck my attention. And it says, okay, Agile is not just it's not a framework, but it's a mindset. I'm like, okay, how do I work with just a mindset? I need to get results. Mindset is not everything.
Sure.
If you know what I mean. So I picked the framework and I said, okay, which framework would work better for me? And then I felt like Scrum would do better for me. So that's how I started transitioning from just being a Scrum Master. And then I did my SAFe, did like different certifications till the point where I can say I practice Agile. And that's how the name came to be, Agile Practitioner.
Nice. Thank you so much for sharing that. I mean, it's great to know that you started from somewhere, and the growth level is something that techies outside should also watch out for. And it's also good that you pointed out those experiences and those things that stood out for you and make you actually go into finally being an Agile practitioner. And going back to the topic, which states overcoming imposter syndrome in the tech industry, the first word, like the phrase that says imposter syndrome. So what would you say is that in your own words? What will you define imposter syndrome?
Okay, so in my own words, to make it very easy probably to a layman, I would say that when you don't feel when you don't feel self-sufficient or you feel inadequate, even though you are able, you have the capacity, you have everything it takes to be that thing, but there is a voice or your environment saying to you that you cannot do it or you are not enough, and you want to always put in so much effort, you want to do more, but still, even in the process of doing more, you say, okay, I want to do this so I can get out of this. But even when you do that, you still feel like you're not enough. It can be an inward voice. It can be outward voice. It can be your environment. It can be the people that are around you. So personally, I feel like when you always have that feeling of I'm not enough, I'm not enough every time you do something, I feel like that's what I would tag as imposter syndrome.
Right. I feel this is very simplified, and feeling not enough, having a self-doubt, those things that we can attribute to having imposter syndrome. And that will bring me to my next question. Have you, in the face of your career, ever struggled with, having self-doubt or feeling like you are not enough? If so, how did you overcome such feelings?
I would say 100%. And reminding you is like you're picking a part of me that is very, very, when it comes to this, I'm very emotional about it. And I had a lot of time. And even though I had studied, I had transitioned, right? I'd moved into tech. I still had that feeling of, a lot of people are doing so much. Like, can I do it? Am I able? I'm already practicing, but I'm still having a challenge. Or am I able to do this? Am I speaking the right jargons? Am I speaking the right words? Do I have the capacity? Do I have the technical know-how? Do I have the technical knowledge of what I'm doing? In fact, the worst part is me saying, can I do this? Can I deliver? Can I deliver this product? Can I, whatever they have asked me to do, I'm always like, can I, like it rings in my head all the time. Can I? And for me, the way I overcame it is, the first thing is I was able to actually humble myself. I was able to humble myself, not in the presence of the people, my stakeholders, no, but in the presence of, there are some people on my team that I had to make my friend. The first thing is, my role is the role of a Scrum Master. Who is that person that can help me overcome imposter syndrome? I feel like for every Scrum Master, for instance, or a project manager, your BA should be your go-to person. For instance, your business analyst. So I had a business analyst on the team that I would always call. If I have difficulty with something, I would always call this person to say, am I doing it the right way? Am I communicating the right way? And all of that. So I feel like hearing, like I said, remember I said that the environment you also find yourself also would help, because you need to put yourself in the environment of people that they are not bringing you down in terms of how they pass their comment, but they are lifting you by giving you the right words that you need to hear per time. And I don't mean that they are robbing, like they are making you feel good because they want you to feel good. You already have like standardized way of working. But even though you have standardized way of working, you still have doubt to say, am I doing it the right way? I had it for over a year. In fact, one of the things that also helped me, aside the fact that I have like somebody that I was always communicating with, I had to go for training again. I had to go for another training to say what is the global way or what is the global method of doing what I am doing. So it is way beyond saying that, okay, I have learned this on my own. I have done this. Like, you still need to keep equipping yourself. So I think that really helped me. So until I went for training, like proper training, and I don't mean that training that I went for that I got certification. No, I went, this is, they call it upskilling.
Yeah.
Upskilling. So even though I was already in it, I had to upskill myself. It was after I did the upskilling, I was trained by another mentor. That is another thing, mentorship. I was trained by another mentor. It was then I had the boldness to speak. I mean, now I can be in an organization and I will speak fluently. I will speak as a proper agile practitioner because I have overcome that thing.
Yeah.
Another thing again is, like I said, upskilling. Upskilling with respect to what you're doing at the moment. Upskilling also in terms of your technical skill, your leadership skill. So it's a different thing when you have like leadership, when you have like technical skill. I feel like one of the skills that helps you overcome imposter syndrome is developing leadership and management skills.
Exactly.
It's very important. So most people, there is this person that made a comment that said that a lot of people are so informed. They are trained, they have certifications, but the problem and the challenge is that they are not upskilling. We have less people that are upskilling, but then we have loads of people that are just informed. And that's why I like what Tenalytics and what they are doing, because I know that they have like loads of programs. Aside the fact that you've been trained in a particular career path, they know the things that you need to upskill yourself, and they feed you with that. So those are the kind of programs that people need to be able to to kill that thing called imposter syndrome, because you are enough. You already have the knowledge, but you still feel like, oh, I don't have the knowledge. Now, let me also speak to people that are just transitioning. You have been trained, and then you're like, do I have enough technical knowledge to be able to go for interviews? No, you just need to prepare. That's it. You just need to prepare. You have the knowledge. You just need to prepare. But if you don't prepare enough, you keep having an idea of, oh, I can't do it. I don't think I can. Most of people that are transitioning now, the issue they always have is the I can. Can I? Can I? And I am saying, stop saying can I, say I can. Like change it. Don't do can I, say I can. So I don't know if that helps. Mentorship is important. The people you surround yourself with is important. Your team members are important. Be ready. If you need help, ask for help. If you need help, mentorship. If you need help, you can speak to mentor, because sometimes you don't want to show yourself as though you don't know what you're doing in the presence of your team members, so you don't lose your respect.
Exactly.
So that is where mentorship comes to play. Wherever you must have been trained, go there for mentorship. It's very important.
Right. Thank you so much. And you've really cut out some question I was hoping to follow up on the first question. And I'm glad you mentioned mentorship, because my next question is about mentorship. But before we go into mentorship, I just want you to give a shout out to someone that has, mentored you for over the years, someone that you look up to and has been there for you all through the course of the year via our podcast. Yeah. So give a shout out to the person.
It's so amazing that one of the persons
people. Yeah.
What did you say?
It can be a group of persons. It can be one person. Just give a shout out.
Okay, let me think. I think that one of the three people I want to do a shout out to in my career path and in my career journey. In fact, four people. The first is my husband, because my husband has always been a project manager. He trains and all of that. So he's one of the people that encourage me to do more. The second person I want to do a shout out to is Joseph Sani, right? Because Joseph Sani was one that opened my eyes to Scrum, right? So I would do a shout out to him as well. The third person I want to do a shout out to was when I started out my one of the persons that I love to give a shout out to is Byron Fortune. Byron Fortune. Byron Fortune is that one person as well that has really helped me in my career path. Byron made me understand that you can actually integrate your career and your normal life. Byron gave me that. Another person I also want to give a shout out to is Noni Chutira. Noni is also that kind of person that is a voice for women. She's saying she always bring it in your ears to say you can do it. You can make, and it's International Women's Day. I'm also doing a shout out to Noni as well. She's a voice for women. So yeah, those four people.
Yeah, so right. That's wonderful. It's great to know that these people helped you in your career, and having you shout out to them means they really play an integral part in everything that you are becoming now. So that's like a first thing to just open the plan, say shout out. And then the second one would be to follow up to say, what do you think is the role of mentorship in actually overcoming imposter syndrome? First, just go back to the topic a little bit and link it with mentorship. Does it have any role to play in overcoming imposter syndrome, overcoming self-doubt, inefficiency, not being enough? Does it have anything to do with that? If yes, how does it do that? Yeah.
So I would say yes. Mentorship play a huge role in overcoming imposter syndrome. And the reason for that is, let me give you an example. When I started out, it was a little bit difficult for me to say, oh yes, I'm a Scrum Master. That was when I started out. It was difficult because I'm like, what do I even know? You're even less than 1 year. What do you even know in the game? There are some people that have been here since forever. Who are you? But one thing that keeps me going is the fact that I know that once I look back, there is somebody guiding me.
Yeah.
And the reason I didn't make lots and lots of mistakes is because a mentor said one thing to me. The mentor said that there are lots of words that were said to me. He said, if you're going in as a Scrum Master, make sure you make your BA your best friend. That's the word of a mentor. Now, it may be little, but you say those words. Some of you want your mentor to be your friend. That's the problem. They will not tell you the truth. You don't want those kind of mentor that will tell you the truth.
Yeah.
You want the ones that will rub off your heads and say, oh, you are doing well. No.
Right.
It's good they tell you you're doing well, but they must also be able to say you need to grow in this part because they know they've been there. They've gone through that journey. And the reason why you need a mentor is so that you would not also fall prey of what they fell prey of, right? So it's your mentor that will be there to guide you. It's your mentor that will be there in case you need guidance in terms of, okay, you're not sure of what to do next. You don't want to ask your immediate team to say, okay, sorry, how am I supposed to do this documentation? You don't want to do that because what happens is that they begin to see you as you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
So you need a mentor that understands what you're doing and then can guide you based on what you're doing at the moment because they are the ones that understand you. They will not look down on you. If you have a mentor that is looking down on you, then change mentor. A mentor will not look down on you. A mentor will not judge your past. A mentor would help your present. And the mentor will be able to see into your future to guide you into the future. So if you have a mentor that looks down on you, then that is not a mentor, right? That's the competitor.
Yeah.
So try as much as possible. It is important that to overcome imposter syndrome, you need a mentor for guidance. You need somebody to hold your hand. You need somebody that you can run to say, do you think I'm doing it right? This is what I'm doing. How can you guide me in this? And you must also be ready to open up. Because what happens is that we don't want to open up. We just want to say the part that is good so that they can say, oh, well done, my son, in whom I am well pleased. You have done well. No, that's not the goal. The goal is to also show your weaknesses so that they can help you overcome imposter syndrome, right? Because the reason why you're having imposter syndrome in the first place is because you are not sure if you're doing it right. You're not sure if you're doing it the way you should do it, or you're not sure if even though you have so much information, your mentor will also remind you that no, you can do this. You know how to do this. Remember how we did it this time. Remember how I did it this time. So they can encourage you to be better persons.
Yeah, thank you so much for that, Abimbola. So you've heard Abimbola, mentors over competitors. So that is one thing that struck on me when you were speaking. And the next question will just be to ask you to say what advice will you give to someone that's just starting out in their career and they're feeling like they're not enough. They're feeling like they've done everything and they feel like they still don't have enough. They still don't have what it takes to, be what they want to be. So what advice will you give to such persons?
One step at a time.
Advice? Yeah,
one step at a time. Take one step at a time. Don't rush it. So if for instance you just transitioned and then you feel like that, just take it one step at a time. Because I had to take it one step at a time. Now let me make you laugh. So one day, I was reading the Scrum Master thing. You have a Scrum Master guide. I don't know if you are aware about that. So I studied my Scrum Master guide back to back. I'm already in the Scrum Master game and all of that. So this very day, one of the project managers just came and asked me, Bimbola, I'm sorry, what's the rack status for your project right now? rag status. It's not in my guide though. You know,
Right.
it's not in my guide. I've never heard of it before. You know what I did? I went back to my books. I started reading on rag status. I started reading on project management. I don't know if that makes sense. Don't forget that I started out as a Scrum Master. You can't have it all figured out. Never. You have to take it one step at a time. So I started as a Scrum Master. And then I saw it. I'm like, this Scrum Master job is very boring. It's not like, it makes me feel like I don't know what I'm doing. It makes me feel like it's just so simple. It's just so easy, but it is not, because you have to do a lot of relationship building and all of that. And it's like, they call it glorified administrator. So, so I'm like, okay, what can I do better? So the rag status, what I now did was, I said, I think that I need to now go into project management. So I paid again for project management training. I went for project management training. So all the rag status, risk analysis, stakeholder analysis, all of those things, I got to know them. Now, guess what? I am now transitioning from being a Scrum Master to being an Agile project manager.
Wow.
Do you understand? So from there, I'm like, okay, what else do I need to do? Is it just about Scrum alone? It is not just about Scrum alone. That is just a framework in the Agile mindset. So what do I need to do? I went straight and I said, okay, let me do my Scaled Agile framework. So I went straight and I studied again on Scaled Agile framework. I did that certification. So like I said, you just need to take it one step at a time. But one thing I want you to take note of is, for every step you take, you are able. For every step you take, you are able. Don't think you are not able for every step. Once you have read it, you have studied it, your mentor has given you a go ahead that you are good to go, then you are good to go. Do not have self-doubt. Every other thing you will learn on the job.
Yeah.
Every other thing you will learn on the job. Nobody have it all together. Every one of us will learn on the job.
Thank you so much for that. So you've heard Abimbola, taking one step at a time. If you're looking to start in your career and you're feeling like you're not enough, you're not able, like you said, the best thing is to take it one step at a time. It's been a lovely conversation so far, Abimbola, and it's great to always hear your examples, your insights whenever we come to do something like this. And the final one for me would be to say, what piece of advice would you give to someone? What piece of advice you wish someone had given to you in the start of your career?
Which of the career? Is it tech career or the old career?
So it definitely has to be tech career.
Okay. One piece of advice.
You wish someone had given you when you started your career, about overcoming imposter syndrome.
Okay. One piece of advice.
Take the question again.
Take the question again.
You wish someone had given to you earlier in your career about overcoming imposter syndrome?
I think one of the advice that I would have loved to hear is that you can do it. Actually, because it was a zone where I couldn't tell people that I just transitioned, if that makes sense. And I had like few people around me. I feel like one of the things that I would have loved to hear is you can do it and you are enough. Yeah. And it's not just about even just my career alone. It's just general in like my life generally. I will always want, I think that one of the things I would love to hear, and not saying it because a lot of people say you can do it just from the tips of their, just from their lips. But I would have loved that someone holds my hand, right? That understands my process.
Yeah.
And then they just tell me, with what you have, Abimbola, you can do it.
Right. That makes so much sense. I mean, it's something that would definitely struck out to me whenever I remember this conversation. I know people that are listening and watching us right now also get to remember that, they are enough, and it's okay to have this feeling of self-doubt or not having it all. It's okay, you can.
Yeah, it's very okay. It's very okay. Every one of us, we have it.
Yeah, and that would be all from my end. I don't know if you want to give a pattern advice so that we can wrap it up.
Okay, so what I would say is one of the things that will help is, as much as possible that you're equipping yourself technically, but you need to also confess positive words to yourself. You need to write sticky notes on the wall to say, I can do it. For every step you take, like, be intentional. That's what I'm trying to say, be intentional. So don't just say, we are not here to say, oh, you don't have what it takes. We are not here to say that we are not, there is a word for it. Mediocrity. That's the word.
Yes.
Because if you're mediocre at something, and then you're trying to say, I can do it, that's not what we're saying. We are saying you already have it.
Exactly.
But you need to be able to tell yourself you can do it. That's what we're talking about. Because if you're in mediocre at something, you need to go and equip yourself more. Not to be saying you can do it. They are two different things. So, but we are saying you already have it, but you're telling yourself you can do it. Just do it.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Abimbola. Glad to hear from you always. Glad to hear your insight, and we'll catch up some other time. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah. Bye.
And that's it. You've heard it all from our experienced Agile practitioner, and she's been able to dive into the question, the topics, and also share insights. It's always great to have Abimbola on board. It's always great to hear insight, and thank you so much for tuning in to the Tech Unbound podcast, and we'll see you next time.